think you say, ew, gross, because Rusty loves me. Ew, gross.
What's up, y'all? Let's turn up right here. Let's go.
All right. Welcome back, Gross Hockey. I'm here with Marcus Antonelli. Again, I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you here, Marcus. And we got a lot to discuss about the Bees. It's a good time of year. So, first of all, man, I mean, how you feeling about the team? Like, just from my perspective, and these guys give me shit all the time for it. I am delusionally optimistic, but I'm curious how you feel about this matchup.
I was hoping we were going to continue with what we were talking about, but yeah, no, we
We
me,
can do
me
that.
and
We can.
me and Mike for the audience, we were having a really good discussion about the scheduling and everything that was
Yeah.
going on with how everything's going. And I've had people reach out to me and they were saying like, we don't know when the game is, what time is it? Sunday's definitely not the preference, but yeah,
No, no. Let's
I
get into
feel
that for sure. Real quick, just we
yeah.
were just talking about like two of the biggest markets in hockey. Like it's crazy. Buffalo hasn't made it in what, 14 or 15 years?
I
And
mean, we were little kids probably the last time because it was 2011, I think,
yeah,
that the Sabres and the Bruins played, or 2010. I can't off the top of my head.
I don't
But
remember either.
what we were saying is like you have the storylines is just you got a team that hasn't made it for so long and your biggest American market. I don't know if you've seen the numbers. I forget who does the all the NHL stats on like the ratings, but it's just every single time the Bruins are on national television, it's just numbers. And the way the scheduling's been going, it's just like what is going on here? Why haven't you figured out the times for each games?
Yeah, and Buffalo too, man. Like they're not even in it, but they're like in the past, but
Yeah.
their fans are watching the playoffs more than teams that are in it. So,
The fan bases, you can tell it how much they love this team. You can tell how much the city buys into how the team is doing, and it matters to them is what I'm trying to say. And I just think when you look at these two teams, both missed the playoffs last year, both are back in the playoffs via their own routes. I was disappointed to not see them on a Saturday night.
yeah,
That
that would
just
have been
was
awesome.
not that was not something that was preferred to me. Now I'm biased because I have plans on Sunday, but that's I feel like that's prime time. That's a prime time NHL game you put on a Saturday. You know, you in the NHL, you're a league that needs eyeballs on it. You need to grow. I feel like this is a series that can, definitely put some eyeballs on the league for sure.
I totally agree, man. I think Boston and Buffalo is gonna be electric. Like I'm so excited for it. And so just going into what I was just saying, like how do you feel about it? Because I mean, I think we both probably have a similar view. I think it's a pretty even matchup, but I'm curious, like, what do you think? What do you think about it?
Yeah, so I mean this season has certainly had its ups and downs, and Buffalo versus Boston was no question about it. They were some great games. What I remember about the Sabres, and the thing that kind of scares me with how they match up against Boston, is their speed. And I was doing a bit of a statistical dive, and I want to say out of the top 10 fastest skaters based on top max speed, um, seven of them are Sabres.
Really?
So you're looking at a fast team, a young team, but I think it's also an experienced team. And that is kind of, if we're being honest, Mike, that's the big question mark with this Buffalo Sabres core, because they've been through it. They've had a core that's been building with Darlene, with Thompson. They got all these talented guys, and they've just been you've been waiting for them to finally take that next step. And this year they finally have done it. But when you look at the matchup now coming in, it's like, all right, what's their experience going to be like? The question mark is, how do they look now that they're in a 7 game series? They're going to have to go against a team that is, in my opinion, more physical than you, has more experience than you, and frankly, I mean, it's obvious has the better goaltending than you. So I think that's also just what makes this matchup so intriguing is what can Buffalo become? And that's not to discredit what they have because the Sabres are, if we're being honest, we see all the intrigue around this matchup. There's a lot of Bruins fans who are looking to draw Buffalo. And I just remember seeing like, yeah, we don't like it's ideal, but it's not like we're just gonna fold the Bruins are gonna fold them over. I don't think. I think there's a lot of factors that go into it, but this series is gonna be a good one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean the Bruins they're what, seven? Well, I guess it's just wild card one, but they're definitely not going to be a favorite f- publicly. But I think like you just said, like you teased it a little bit, goaltending. I think goaltending is huge. And I'm not like throwing shade at their goaltending, but more so just Jeremy Swayman has been so good. I'm a goalie guy myself, and like I think he's a guy who, if he's on his game against this team, it can be really, the Bruins would just be a tough team to beat. That said, dude, Buffalo's got some, like you said, really fast players and really talented. Like they got more talent in their lineup. But this is something I'm really excited about. And I feel like you are too, because I've seen your Instagram stories. Jimmy Hagens. So I've seen you post about this. Like, fill me in and anyone listening on how you kind of like hyped this up. Like you saw this coming before anybody else. Is that true?
The what about the James Hagen signing?
Just James Hagens to Boston in
Oh
general.
yeah.
Is that true?
How I hyped it. We want to go. You want to go back?
I
You
want
want
to
to
go
go
back
back?
because I saw your post about it, so I
So
wanted to ask you.
for people who are unaware of what we're discussing, Mike had me on the boys had me on. I think it was after the season after the Panthers won the cup, right? I think it was
Yeah,
like June.
yeah,
So we're going back, right?
yeah,
But no, even before you guys had me on the first time, I think the first I heard of James Hagens was when I looked at a USA World Junior Championships lineup projection, and I was like, oh, this guy's a an incoming BC freshman, and then I see he's the first overall pick. Didn't think much of him. That's the first time I saw James Hagens. I don't know about you, Mike, but for me, that was the first time I had heard of him. Apparently, he's been hockey's prodigal son forever. What about you?
yeah. I think to be
Because
honest,
he's been in like hockey people's minds for a while.
yeah. I when I was younger, I was pretty into the draft, or at least more. I really haven't been, especially like the Bruins don't pick high. I don't really
No, they
care.
don't. So you don't
Yeah,
care. You don't care as much. It's the truth.
yeah,
But I always like looking at the draft just to get a peek on who's in it. That's the first time I saw him. But when the Bruins really started to kind of like, dip into that lull and the season was just going south for them, I want to say the first time I ever embedded him in sort of content, and it was just to like do it. I don't think I had another image of a top draft prospect, but he was number one at the time. The Bruins had a 6.5% chance. They had the seventh best odds, and this was in October. It was like late October. So, and I just put him in there, and that was probably the first. That was probably the first like, oh, James Hagen's to Boston thing. I didn't even say it. I just put him in the graphic, but there were a
yeah.
lot of people in there. If you look back on the comments, a few of them were like, I'll take Hagens at this rate. I remember in my dorm room at MC, I was just like laughing about that. I was like, wouldn't that be funny? And then like you start to, as the season ramped up and the way it kind of the way the trajectory went, Hagens began to fall because he was a point per game at BC. The Bruins started to, drop towards a top five best odds, and then they fell to seven. Just the way the two kind of converged, it was like something out of it felt like something out of a movie, and it's just it's insane how kind of it all started. But it's crazy that you bring that up because I just thought back to even before I even considered it. Wait, no, I didn't even. Sorry, real quick. It wasn't before when we talked last, right? It was 2025, before 2025, 26. This was before the draft when you and I talked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, it must have been.
Oh my God, I'm mixing up. So much of these
No, no,
seasons
no,
become a
dude, it's
blur.
been so long, but now, like, I honestly didn't remember. I vividly remember it was a pre-draft chat. Like, that's
It
what it
was
was.
a
I think,
pre-draft chat. Oh
yeah,
my
that's what it was.
God. I forgot
So,
about that.
looking like back on that, I honestly, dude, I really didn't even remember that. I
You're good.
saw your video on it, and I wanted to bring it up because I've been so excited by what I've seen from him in these two games.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like you said, it really does just kind of feel like a match made in heaven, too. Like you said, like he fell, they fell, and he's kind of this player that they desperately need. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they've went against that style of player for so long, and it seems like they finally were like, okay, we need to change that a little bit, and he fell in their lap. So,
Yeah.
what have you thought of him in the first two games? Like, obviously he hasn't scored, he has a point, but just like we're watching his shifts.
I think when we first talked about like who would you ideally want for the Bruins, I remember saying James Hagens or like Martone or Frondell because it was so
Yeah.
interchangeable.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason I said James Hagens was because he's the best skill guy available, and if you can fall to that to your pick, you take that guy because you need the skill in your pipeline. But aside from the skill, it's just the other qualities that he has, the vision, the speed, his decision making. I feel it's not off the charts, but it's the right decision making. Like he just does those little things that I feel like you don't see out of many skilled 19-year-old forwards that come into the league. They have to learn that kind of stuff. And just from what I see, it fits like a glove. You know what I mean? Like the Bruins do a very good job, I feel like, of evaluating players who play the right way. And I put hand quotation marks. They try to find guys that can fit their system. And when we first probably looked at what James Hagens was, it's not, you don't look at him as a player who can fit into their system. But I think Don Sweeney even said it in the press conference today when talking about Hagens. It was he didn't say it like this, but what I took from it was Hagens had an openness to learn, an openness to do what it takes. And I think the fact that Boston College was also so close to the Bruins and just having that communication all the time, I mean, that just only helped him in his sophomore season. Like we can say the numbers all we want, but when you look at him in these past two games, he's making it very hard to keep him out of the lineup. The skill is one thing, and I've always been a fan of having young, intriguing skill players in a Bruins lineup like this. But it's just everything else that he's doing that's just making it so hard to not give him a reason to be in this lineup. So
Yeah, very well said. I totally agree because I think a lot of people hear young and talent and small and they just put it in like a box of, who the player is. And like you just said, he really isn't any of that stereotype. Like the things I noticed from that game was the forecheck that he had. Like I was, I had a good time watching that, is what I will say. I'll keep it PG. You
no,
know,
because you look at his forecheck and it's like it's like how tall is he? And it just like you said, people put it in a box when a player is small, but yeah, the forecheck even like it was his first NHL point because of the forecheck.
Yeah. And also that's a good call there. I was actually talking about the one against the Devils, but to your point, his point, his first point, his only point that he had so far was on that other forecheck against Columbus, which was amazing as well. Physical, used his foot, like, it wasn't like a pretty pass, but it was kind of funny because it was like the opposite of what people would think that he would get.
It's those things that they get the job done, and it's for us as fans, we love to see it. It may not be the prettiest highlight in a social media driven world where that's what we look for, but when you want to play winning hockey and you see somebody play that way, I mean, even then you say the forechecking. I look at I mean, I'm a little more. I've seen this before, so I'm not as surprised. But like when covering college hockey games at BU, it's like you see him like put his nose in a scrum.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to do it. And I think that's a huge, I think that's something huge for growth because there's a lot of people who still kind of had this perspective that, oh, his size, he's not going to be able to, like, the NHL's a different league. He's not going to be able to protect the puck more. Well, me and people I've talked to, it's a young kids league now. Like you see some of these smaller players succeed, and it's like, well, okay, if they're able to do it at their size, why can't he? And maybe he took a different path and he took a much lengthier path than that of a top 10 pick would. But at least you got him here now, and everyone's kind of seeing like, okay, yeah, he can hang, and he can.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, Sweeney's press conference, there's a lot of good things in that. And you mentioned like openness to learn, like those and the scraps. He has the dog in him, and that's the stuff that I personally love because it's like it can be overrated, like oh he got in a scrap, like but we're not talking like 98.5. We're just being realistic. Like the kid isn't scared of physicality. Like he threw a hit in that game. I think it was Dougie Hamilton. He just like knocked off the puck. Like
That was kind of funny.
yeah, which is
That was kind
wild.
of funny.
Yeah, and the forecheck against New Jersey, like he was all over them. He used his speed so well, and I just always go back, and I'm fine with the approach they took and putting him in Providence. I thought it was a little long, but um, I understand like a lot of these guys in this team helped the team get to this point, so you don't want to just like kick them to the curb. But you look at it, it's like, okay, even if Hagens was a little bit less aware defensively, he's been unbelievable. I think. I mean, this obviously there's areas to work on, but it's just like what he brings, even if he didn't bring that, is a lot more than Mike Yasimon and these other guys. So, like you said, it's a young man's game, and it's just like you're silly if you didn't bring him in. So I'm so happy that they did, and I'm so happy that it looks like he's playing game one too.
Yeah, that would be seeing that Cub line would just be a dream come true to see like the Bruins finally putting together a youth line, like a kid line. And yeah, you say it like there's no discredit to any of the players that have helped the Bruins get to this point, especially in that third line left wing role. But I think it's just when you look at already like what Hagens brings off the puck, and then you just add the skill when he's able to touch the puck. I think that just adds another layer of offense and transition that the Bruins need. So I mean, it's a no-brainer to have him in my opinion.
No brainer. And yeah, like we'll see how he does game one playoffs. It's going to be kind of a wild game. You have a team in a city that hasn't had playoffs in 15 years, and you have this kid who hasn't played more than two NHL games, and he's going to have his first game. But, I think he's only just, this is a huge hot take, but he's just only going to get better. And what we've seen, I think, is just really like the tip of the iceberg of a kid who's, like you had said, willing to learn and do everything that's asked of him. But once he gets comfortable and figures out that there's some guys out there that he can expose and he can challenge with his speed, like I think he's going to be a huge part of this Bruins team. Um, hopefully to beat the Sabres.
Yeah, and on that, I will say that I mean I know it's only been a year for the Bruins, but the playoffs do become a different ball game, right? Like the pace is faster, the hits are heavier, the wear and tear, runs rampant. So I think like once that intensity runs up, it'll be interesting for me at least to see how Hagens handles it, and I'm sure he'll handle it good, but no matter what, I think it's a positive experience for him because in a market like Boston where you're a top 10 pick, this is expectation, right? For a city like Boston, the expectation is to be competitive, to consistently be in the playoffs and to be competing for a Stanley Cup. So for the argument of, you'd want to kind of protect him, I think mentally, like you look at where he's at and where the team is at, it's like plug him in. It's a good locker room. He has said it's a good locker room, and let him learn even more around a group, a team that in a single year has grown exponentially. So,
Yeah,
I can't wait to see how it all fizzles out. But I'm just anticipated for this. I need the games, man.
can't wait, dude. It's crazy, but um, yeah, I kind of lost it. There's something I was gonna say off of that, but
Oh, you're good.
I guess either way, like kind of pivoting to the player development. Oh no, no, this is what I was gonna say. What do you think his comp is? Because I've heard like Jack Hughes and other stuff. I don't know. I mean, I guess they make sense. He said he looked up to him. But it just like in terms of like, yeah, what he can be, what his ceiling is eventually. Do you have any thoughts on that?
He said he looked up to Jack Hughes.
Well, I think like
Did he?
a few years. He's probably what, 5 years. So yeah, yeah, I heard that somewhere.
What? We are we are unks right now. Oh
I
my
know,
God.
man.
I didn't
Yeah.
even think of that. I mean, yeah, Jack Hughes, the skill comp's definitely there.
Matt
I'd probably
Barzal was another one. Sorry to interrupt you, but
ooh no, Barzal's a good one, and it's a good get considering the Bruins didn't take a swing on that the first time.
yeah,
Uh, Cooley's another one. I'd have to say, when you take the college comparison between like Cooley kind of tearing it up, and Hagen's doing that as well. I just I'd say yeah, if you got a smaller skill guy that can kind of drive play and just like play in all three zones, that's the kind of guy that I'd say Hagens was. Hughes makes sense, but I'm just looking at how what I've seen, how well he protects the puck so far.
yeah,
Um, I think it's more like well-rounded.
yeah. I agree
It's
with
more
that.
well-rounded in comparison to like skill. So
Yeah, I wouldn't say Jack Hughes is like the most well-rounded player yet.
he's great
I-
offensively, great skill, but I
yeah,
think Hagen's prioritized more of, and this is all in part to the 2 years at college. Hagen's has had the ability to, in a league like Hockey East, you and I have seen tons of Hockey East games being from around here, but it's just like the pro ready game that is played against like smaller colleges like the UMass Lowells and the Merrimacks. It's like that prepares you. I believe it prepares you for that kind of stuff. So
totally,
that
absolutely.
helps.
Yeah, and like Sweeney had said in the press conference today that they were able to talk to him throughout the year. He said something that kind of surprised me too, of like if you really want to leave BC and like sign with us, he was like, these are the things. Like the way he phrased it was just kind of like, wow, that's pretty direct. And I guess like Hagen's probably was thinking all year, like this should be my last year, and I'm expecting to jump in. And yeah, it's been awesome to see. I wonder if uh, Hagen's turns out to be a little bit of kind of like the new generation of forward. Like Jack Hughes is kind of up there, maybe not as defensive, but yeah, it's exciting. Yeah. So, all right, give me a prediction for
For
this.
Bruins Sabres.
Yeah, for this series.
I mean, I think obviously anytime the Bruins are in, JB's in, let's go. Uh Anytime the Bruins are in, I want to hear JB's prediction on this too because he's missed quite a bit.
Yeah.
JB,
What's up,
What's
dude?
going on, boys? Good to see you guys. How you doing?
we're talking predictions.
Oh God,
Yeah,
are
you
they
came at a
good
good time.
predictions or?
You came at a good time.
JB
Mark,
might have taken the James Hagens talk to another 30 minutes, but we're kind of we kind
yeah,
of transitioned there.
we did just stroke off James Hagens for
Nice.
15 minutes or
Oh,
so.
I know if you're a part of the conversation that's happening, anyways.
No, but real quick, I will say like anytime the Bruins are in the playoffs, I'm always gonna pick them. Right now, I'd say it's either Bruins in 6 or 7 games. Like realistically, like Buffalo, especially since not just the Olympic break, but since January 1, they've just been an absolute wagon. They've coined the term and you've just seen how well they've performed contrary to how they've done in the past. And it's like, you're really gonna have to slow down the team. And if you do that, you're gonna have to do it I think it's gonna be in 7 games because the Bruins have had difficulties on the road. Buffalo, especially, that crowd, they're going to feed off of it. You're going to have to be able to shut them down, like quiet them down early. Can the Bruins do that? That remains to be seen. But that's just my take on it. I think it's either the Bees in 6 or 7 games for sure.
I love it. And real quick too, you had mentioned how fast Buffalo is. I don't know if you saw, I recently saw something that I think the Bruins are the slowest team. So it's going to be kind of a
Yeah.
battle of like which team, gets the other team to play their way.
Yeah. And that's a caveat, right? It's like the Bruins might be the slower team, which is pretty obvious. It's nauseating sometimes to see them try and catch up to other teams. It's like, ay, ay, ay. But on the other side of that, they play, I feel like, a much more structured game. And I've always said this with this specific year's team, when they play together, when they work well together, they play tape to tape, they transition well, and they're structured, you're not stopping the Boston Bruins. And also Swayman's a huge part of that. And if they stay out of the box, that's a whole nother conversation. But when they play together, it's just like they've always said, they are a hard out. And it's true. When they don't play together, it's pretty easy for a team to hone in on David Pastrnak with whoever he's trying to, make a play to. And speaking of which, he's had the best playmaking season of his career. 70 assists. It's amazing his evolution from what we've seen. But if this team does not play together, they're gonna have a really hard time against Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. What do you think their X factor is? And then I'll ask him what his prediction. I'm assuming we're all gonna
I
say
want
the
to hear
Bruins.
JB. I want to hear JB. JB, we haven't gotten enough of your voice in here.
You're being too kind, man. I don't know if you want my voice. Yeah, for prediction wise, I mean, I definitely do agree. I've been saying six. Um, I think as
The
the
Bruins?
series, yeah, the Bruins. Oh yeah, 100%.
We are homers over here.
Yeah,
We are
yeah,
homers.
everyone knows that. I just think the Bruins need to make it a messy game. Like I agree with your structure and everything with everything like that. Like the Bruins have played, I feel like that system for a very long time, whether it was playing zone or then now more of a hybrid with the man on man. But I feel like when the Bruins are at their best, it's low scoring games. They're not a team that has had the offense to go out and just simply beat teams by outscoring them. So I kind of just want to see them bring Buffalo into murky waters, right? Like this team hasn't been in the playoffs for some time now. I think as the series goes on, you're going to see that start to weigh on Buffalo a little bit more. But I mean, this is who I kind of wanted for the matchup. So I mean, I have all the confidence in the world that the boys can get it done.
Yeah, and with the murky waters point, I will say that offensively, a lot of the pundits and the writers, I keep reading how they're talking about the offensive rating. And one thing that stood out to me is the Bruins, the 5-on-5 in comparison, since the turn of the calendar year, both teams are like top five in 5-on-5 scoring. But since the Olympic break, the Bruins have kind of trailed behind a bit on that, and Buffalo continues to surge. But I think something that a lot of the pundits and writers are forgetting is that, they grease it up, they muck it up. When they score, it's kind of, I mean, you guys would probably agree with me. It's playoff style hockey. Like it's get it deep, it's funnel it to the middle. The Bruins, and I have no stats to back this up, but it's just my eyes. It feels like they don't go for shot quality, they just prefer shot quantity. And I think that that's something that a lot of NHL teams have kind of strayed away from. It was something that was implemented in the Jim Montgomery system that I think that Marco Sturm has gone back to it. It has benefited this style of a team. So I'm hoping that they can kind of use that to their advantage.
Yeah. I don't know how much either of you have seen those advanced analytics. I started getting back into using X.
What are you looking at? What pages do you follow?
Well, I follow like Jay Fresh, and then there's a lot that just come up that I honestly don't really know who they are, but I'm not someone who ever would like take that uh, too seriously, but obviously it's a tool. But a lot of them have the Bruins is very lucky. And I don't know, my counter to that, kind of along the lines of what you just said, I just kind of like those stats miss certain things. And I just think this Bruins team, like, it's sort of intangible stuff. Like, I don't think you can call it that they're lucky. It just feels like they play the game the right way. They wear teams down, and then they have skillful shooters who finish. But yeah, I don't know. I will also say that their scoring dropping off after the break. I wonder how much that is tied. Like, when did Geeky move off of that top line? Did he slow down first?
I forget at what point of the season it was. JB, feel free to punch in whenever you if it clicks in your head, but To the point of geeky and the scoring after the Olympics, I think something we've seen from the Bruins, especially like throughout the season. I don't want to call it streaky scoring, but it just feels like I would use the word isolated because at the beginning of the year there was the geeky go off, like he went off, and then this I'm trying to think after the Olympic break, Zaka coming back from injury, he and the second line was already had one of the best NHL goal differentials among forward lines, but Zaka just elevated elevated from the stretch past the Olympic break, and it also elevated that entire line. That second line's been great, but I call it isolated scoring because it feels like the team has just had stretches of certain players um not carrying them offensively, but driving them, I'd say, offensively. And that's kind of a worry for me, but that was to the point of to the point of the scoring.
Yeah, I honestly I agree with that because it feels like when the second line has kind of dried up, that's when Pasternak has stepped up, and then it feels like neither like not Jesus Christ, having a stroke.
Minton in January too, I must say that.
Minton and
In January,
oh
stud.
oh yeah yeah.
Rookie of the month,
Yeah.
stud.
But I don't know how much both first like the first and the second line have like tore it up at the same time. It feels like either one line's going and then they're getting a little bit of help outside of that.
Exactly. And that raises level of concern because I think we've seen the past, and I can bring it back to 2019. It's like when you think about when the Bruins have failed to produce offensively, it has been when they don't have all four lines rolling. And I think that that's definitely something that's been a flaw with the team. So when these analytics call them lucky, I wouldn't call them lucky. I just feel like it's a different word. I can't really put it in my head. I wouldn't call it um I wouldn't call it like they've just been carried by one person or player, but it just feels like it's just been isolated, streaky.
Yeah.
Um and if they can just get everyone together and just like rolling four lines, especially seeing how the fourth line has played over the past couple of games, there's reason for confidence in this team when your depth is kind of rolling like that. You get James Hagens into the third line with the Cubs and them working well together. Um, it looks like it's starting to finally mold together, but you need to see it. And what
Yeah.
better way to see it than, in a playoff game?
Yeah. I just noticed you were calling the kids the Cubs. I like that.
Cubs.
The baby bears. Yeah. So that actually leads me into because I was talking to him earlier about this. So I want to talk about lines a little bit because I've been huge on the bandwagon of getting Elias Lindholm the hell away from David Pastrnak personally. Now, I think he's a good guy. He's a good looking dude. I bet he's a good guy in the locker room. I bet he is a good father. No shade whatsoever. Not that he's going to hear this, but I just think like JB and I were talking about this earlier that it seems like you look at Pasternak, you look at Geeky. I think you could probably agree. Geeky's a little bit of like a watered down Pasternak, like in a way. He's like a light version of Pasternak. Like he's a goal scorer. He might not be the fastest, but he's skilled. He's a good shooter. And it just feels like those two need someone who can skate and who can play a little bit faster. I was pushing for Minton to get pushed up there. He eventually did. Well, then they called it the third line, like jokingly, but they looked really good. The Kuznetsov, Minton, Pasternak line.
Pasta and his lineys. I love how
Yeah,
he called them his lineys.
yeah, yeah. Um, so I don't know. Like I know they're going into it, and I get it. Like it's a playoffs, it's big. But what do you think about the first line? Like, would you do something different? Would you keep it and then maybe just kind of see how it looks and then change on the fly?
JB, your mic just went out, so I want to hear what you or you opened your mic. I want to hear what you guys say. Or did it? Oh, I was hoping JB was gonna
Oh,
say some
no, you're
bars.
good. You're good.
Go
I was
ahead.
muted. I came off and then remuted by accident.
Go ahead.
Um,
What was your take on this?
yeah, I mean the Lindholm pasta pairing, I see Mike's view, and I think I agree with it for the most part. I will say we had a conversation earlier, And there has been parts of Elias Lindholm's game that I think if Pasta is going, it complements him somewhat well. I think if you have someone on that other side that's a little bit faster, maybe a Hustadinov, just course of conversation. I do think it's tough when you have the top line being Geeky, Lindholm, and Pasta, just because I think who's really the motor running that? I mean, we know what Pasta's caliber is. He's unbelievable. But I think in some of these series, the issue you're going to run into is the ability to get on a forecheck and start to hem teams in. So, I mean, that's my immediate thought. I think with Lindholm, I do like a lot of aspects of his game. It seems like he's been kind of turning it up here a little bit, towards the end of the season. It's not a bad time to try to turn it up here as we go into the playoffs. But I do agree that I think, if you moved him down in the lineup, matchups are probably better. If we are juggling lines and he is the 3C, probably wouldn't be the worst person to play with a Hagens, right? Lindholm's a pretty heady guy, it seems like, and Hagens has the speed. So I think on a surface level, that's probably my take on that part of the lineup.
I think we're underrating Elias Lindholm, if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
because we haven't. And look, it hasn't been the most outright amazing offensive production from him, but I think what we're forgetting is what he does, like his face-offs, his defense. We know that's good, but I think that in a playoff style hockey, I think we have yet to see him do it in a Bruins sweater, and I think that's something that we need to give him a little breathing room for. And I just go back to Vancouver. My buddy and I, Jimmy, were talking about this. I'll shout him out for this because he made a very good point. The I feel like and I agree with him on this too, but the game tightens up in the playoffs. You know what I mean? You hold your sticks a little tighter. And I think that Elias Lindholm's game style, like the way he plays, kind of it fits that kind of playoff game style. And I think I'm not saying like he's gonna be the team's MVP or anything, but you asked earlier, Mike, about an X factor. I think that if there's any two guys who the Bruins have, who they brought in, that we have yet to see play playoff hockey in a Bruins sweater, it's Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov, who we brought in for the purposes of this playoff style hockey that we have yet to utilize at this stage of the season in these moments. So I'm intrigued to see what they can do. And I think with the way everyone else is sort of fitting in and fizzling out, you don't get rid of that second line. I'm a sucker for the Cubs. I'm a sucker for seeing the young prospects, players playing together. I'm more than happy to see it. And the fourth line's really heating up. I don't think there's anywhere else Elias fits, and you need to have Geeky and Pasternak kind of connecting. So
I do want to ask, not to cut you off, just
go
because
ahead.
you made me think about it when you were talking about that Cubs line. What is your leash with that line? Because we're also talking a little bit different here with playoffs, right? Like I'm all for the youth. We've been kind of raving for the Bruins to do that, but going into the series hasn't started yet. What is your leash with that line? When everything starts up.
I just think from what I've seen, I think they work well together. And when you're a team like the Bruins, I don't want to call them like the misfits or anything, but you don't really. I don't think they have anything to lose playing those guys together. I think that when you look at how complementary Minton and Hustadinov have played together and how often they've played in, these late games where the Bruins have made comebacks, the Bruins have tried to dig themselves out of comebacks. They've played big minutes. They've scored overtime goals. Granted, it's a 3-on-3 in the regular season. I just think that those two have already gained so much experience throughout this season, and how pro ready James Hagens has already shown he's been. I just don't see why you don't do it if you're already in this position of why not? What other, in my opinion, what other options are there? Everything else kind of fits. Granted, we haven't seen the best out of Geeky Lindholm Pastrnak, and they've had that split up. But when you look at how everything else fits, I just think that it's not your only option. Marco Sturm can do whatever he wants, but I think it's your best one, and just give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, it's also like it's kind of tough when Hagens comes in with 2 games because you can't like change them. You don't have like 10 games to try like
This is why I wanted the call up earlier.
yeah,
This is why I
yeah.
wanted it earlier.
I agree with that. My whole thing originally was like give them a weekend in dirty Providence. Send them, down there
The
and then
jungle.
yeah. And then call him up. I think they gave him 2 weekends in dirty Prov. That's probably why he came up so to like
That's
disgruntled.
way too long to be improv.
Yeah.
More than enough.
Yeah. And so I don't know, man. Like I will say the kid line, they are 2 lefties. Like Hustadinov is a lefty, and then Hagens is. So I wonder if like just spitballing here, if you do sit there and you go like we're down 2, we're going back home, maybe you can spread the wealth and you could put Geeky onto the right, Lindholm in the middle, and Hagens on the left on the third
Yeah.
line. Or you could put Hagens with Pasternak and either Lindholm or Minton. Like they do have a lot of options. But like I agree with you, like this is what it is. So I definitely think they should like start with it. I'm confident in it too. I believe in it.
No, but Mike, you make a good point that originally when Hagens was coming through the fold, it was the consensus was that third line left wing spot, which was previously held by Lucas Reichel. Reichel gave them a bit of jolt with the speed because he's fast. He's the fastest. He's the fastest guy in the team. If we're being honest by top speed, I didn't mention him before, but he is one of the fastest guys on the team. So when you look at how he complemented Geeky and Lindholm and how much Pasternak has helped out Minton and Hustadinov. Obviously, their play styles help. That two-way helps with getting the puck to Pasternak. So that could be a possibility. That could be an option to look at. But I just look at the way they've just been progressing into the playoffs. I think it might be a little worrisome if guys aren't starting to click and you're starting to make lineup shifts. Personally, for me, I think we can all agree on this. Don't touch 2 and 4. Do not touch 2 and 4
No.
at
I
all.
don't think you can. I mean, Zaka and Middlestat just had babies like two rooms apart. Did you see that?
The 3 dads,
Yeah.
the 3 dads,
Oh
do
yeah,
not split those guys.
Arvidsson's little girls are cute too. I remember seeing them in the behind the B.
Do not split those guys
Yeah.
ever. They play so well together.
Yeah, and
I'm
they're
actually
so
Go ahead.
responsible too. That's all.
Oh yeah, no, like defensively, I'll see like what is it, Arvidsson? Like when he's turning his feet, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is like defensively, he's locked, and just the way he's played has been amazing this season. Breakout or
Yeah.
bounce back guy of the year.
Yeah, little
But
bugger.
don't split those guys
No.
ever. Do
And
not,
and so
please.
so X Factor. I'm curious what either of you think. Like Marcus, let's start with you. Like I I don't think your answer was Elias. Did you already answer it?
I'd probably say it's Elias and Nikita, the guys who
Okay.
you signed for the playoffs that have yet to see it. I'm giving it to those 2
I
guys.
like that. That's like something I did not expect, but that's intriguing. I know JB is
JB, let's hear it.
he's been clamoring for Zaddy.
Oh, I did 100%. He was. I'd been talking. I think like when was it? It would have been the year before, right? That they ended up getting Nikita, but
Right.
that for
Yeah.
that deadline. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with
Oh
both of
yeah.
those guys. I think my personal pick to be different, and he's been great, and I think a lot of the success has come from him. I'm gonna go Swayman. I think if we get that playoff Swayman from before, it's really what this team needs. I mean, it's been great, obviously, for them all season with both goalies, but I think for them to go on a solid run, I think you need everything starting on the back end, and it starts with that guy.
Yeah, if you're getting to JV's point, I'm glad you said that because if you get 2023-24 playoff Swayman, like goals saved above expected, stopping everything sprawling around, you are at least winning around. Like I don't sports bet, but you are at least winning around if you get that kind of Jeremy Swayman. And the way he's been progressing this season, it's been a joy to see. It's what you've wanted. And I don't know if you guys have actually looked at the goaltending stats. Swayman's played Buffalo once. Corpusalo played the other 3 games.
Wow. So did Swayman win? Because they lost. They were
Swayman,
three and
he
one.
won.
Okay,
He
so
won the one. He won the one game. Corpusalo, I think he was 2-1. I want to say, but that really like opened my eyes. I was like, it's like, are you kidding me? Because in those back to backs, right? When you play like the starting goalie, the backup goalie. I remember in those back to backs, the decision to go to Corpusalo, and my first thought was, you guys, I hope find this funny. We'll be like, this isn't Buffalo in 2015, guys. This is Buffalo in 2025, 26. But Corpusalo has done his due diligence this season for sure. He's been amazing in high danger areas. So.
yeah, no, he's been good, and I know he wanted to play more. I think he hasn't played more, like he said that after the last season, but he's played more like often. They've kept him like they've rotated well, and I would probably say Swayman as well, but again, to be different, you kind of enlightened me or not enlightened me, just like reminded me of this. I'm gonna say the fourth line because that fourth line, if they're going, I mean, they might break that rink in Buffalo or TD Garden might actually explode.
Yeah, I want to say, thinking back to the Tanner Jeannot signing, I think about how well he has complemented, um, that bottom line. It might be, I said at the beginning of the year, it's like we might have the league's best fourth line, and I predicted it would. I want to say it was Jeannot, Corelli, and Kaslik, but I'm not gonna try and like toot my own horn here. I'll have to check back. But just seeing the way it's like you said, Mike, and I'll add to it, the way they have been able to hem guys into the zone for extended periods. They might not be the most skilled line, but man, they will make another team's defense's lives hell. And they do it for extended stretch runs. And legs get tired. The legs feed the wolf. They will get tired in the playoffs. And if you got a trio like that can just wear you down, that's trouble. That's trouble. So I like that X Factor pick too, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been fun to watch and actually have like underrated skill because Corrali, like how about the game he had against Columbus the other night, like the fourth line, like they really like won that game, like that was a big game for the Bruins. Like the Bruins have not, they didn't coast into the playoffs by any means. Like they had some games where if they, that comeback against Columbus like a week prior to it, that game was massive. Like it just speaks to the character in the room. It is very Bruins to have the best fourth line in the league, and just like they don't have the best first line, second line. But
We
uh
all saw it coming.
yeah, but so excited for Zadorov playoff hockey. And to your point, Elias Lindholm has like I'm really not a hater of him. He has even going back to the year prior, he has improved as the season went on. And then the year prior to that, he scored like a double overtime winner for Vancouver in the playoffs. So I believe in him. I think he could turn it up when the game gets a little bit like tighter checking.
Yeah. I just looked back on my files, not to kind of like toot my own horn. I my
This is a
fourth
this is a toot your own horn podcast. You're
Okay, so the fourth line I predicted at the beginning of the year was Tanner Jeannot, Sean Corelli, and Mark Kaslik. And I think it's crazy that we're here talking about those three guys.
yeah.
I never, at the beginning of the year, I remember them putting him on the third line and it worked kind of with Minton too. But I think it's crazy how well these guys have sort of like complement each other. So
Yeah. And while we're tooting horns, no, I will say like it's so we're missing Jake right now.
I
And
was gonna say there's usually three of us
yeah,
or four of us.
I will say like I remember going back to the Janelle signing. I a lot of people were very negative about it, and Jake's came clean, but since maybe he'll listen to this, I'm gonna give him a little love in the sign of giving him a shot because that's how we do it. But he'll self-admittedly was super negative on this team, and he's obviously come around. He's a fan. It wasn't to be a Debbie Downer, but yeah, a lot of people were very negative on Janelle, and I don't know. Just looking back, it was like probably too much money, but I don't know. The cap's going up a lot, and he's gonna bring something they that's Bruins hockey. Like, are we gonna be that mad about it? Like, he's gonna punch someone's head in.
Yeah, I think, and I admittedly, I'm one of them. I gave it a D plus because I just saw the offensive production, and I just also looked at the amount of penalty minutes. I was like, great. You got another guy who just racks up the penalty minutes and doesn't contribute. But I think we as fans and people on the outside, we forget so much about what what a player can bring outside of like, what they do on the ice. And Janot's play on the ice has certainly, done its due diligence. It has been net positive in my opinion. But there's so much that a player does behind the scenes that we don't even take into account that I think at least add into why the player is getting certain term and certain average annual value. So, and Tanner Jeannot reminded me of that. So, credit to him for shutting a lot of us up and putting smiles on our faces.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think he'd be like this good. Um, but yeah, this team is just kind of, whether you want to call it lucky or whatever anybody wants to call it, like they've surprised a lot of people, and to be here is awesome. I know we all can't wait. I'm trying to think of anything else. I do have a couple questions about like outside of the Bruins, like any team that you would think would win a cup. But if either of you guys have any other thoughts about the team that maybe we didn't cover, I mean, we haven't talked McAvoy. Obviously, he's a huge part of the team. You did bring up Pasternak too. Like I mean, his impact this year has been awesome. But yeah, what about just kind of pivoting a little bit? What if the Bruins don't win it? Hand of God. Who do you think wins the cup this year?
JB, you want to get this? You unmuted yourself. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it is tough. I want to say I think the Avs. I think just pedigree wise, like they've done it before. Thought the move for Kadri again, like kind of solidified things a little bit more too. I could see them. I want to give one more just because it is tough. I think I'd go Dallas too. I watched them the other night. They're another fun team to watch, and I feel like they've been in the mix now for a while. But probably leaning more Avs.
Oh man. Y'all, there's no Florida in this playoff bracket, and it is really hard to not say them because they were just automatic. Um, Gee, man, it just feels like this is anyone's kind of ball game, and it's insane how much of a dogfight that Central Division is going to be because I mean, three of those four teams are just I feel like conference final locks. Um, I don't know. My preseason pick, and I want it to remain Edmonton, but their goaltending is just lacking. You know what I mean? But you never know how a player can turn around the postseason. I can't give you an answer because I gotta make a play. I gotta make a bracket at some point. My friends are expecting. We all gotta do the bracket challenge,
I know.
but it's anyone's. It's anyone's really. I would like to see personal preference. I think for the league, I just would like to see McDavid finally get one. Like I just think like he's been clawing at it for a while. They've been building for it. I'd love to see Edmonton come out of the I'm looking at it's the bottom of the bracket, and it doesn't look as competitive as that Central. But I mean, hey, if they can string it all together, they've shown that they can in the postseason. They get Draisaitl back. Who knows? I would like to see Edmonton hoisted, if not Boston.
I hear that. I was actually thinking of saying something similar because, like you just mentioned about Florida, like that's their Achilles heel. I mean, if no, I mean there are a lot of teams' Achilles heel, obviously, but Carolina Hurricanes' Achilles heel is just the third round. Hey, how are you? This is a comedy podcast, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, I agree. It's so wide open. I think this is going to be one of the better playoffs of like recent years, and that's saying a lot because the playoffs are always awesome. But you get Pittsburgh, the Battle of Pennsylvania with Philly, and then you have Carolina. Excuse me, Carolina and Ottawa is the first game that's on Saturday too. That's going to be, I think that could be even an upset. I think Ottawa's a hard team to beat if they can get some goaltending.
That's still gonna be a great series.
Yeah.
Every single one of these, what we're going to see, every single one of these is going to be a great series, unless Edmonton plays Los Angeles. I'm not trying to see that again.
Wait, that's
No
is that
more, no more Edmonton and Los Angeles. No more.
is
Get
that
it
oh
out.
yeah, it's not locked yet. That's crazy because they still have a chance to play them.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I just do know the Pacific is kind of like out of whack. One thing I do want to shout out though, like Utah. That's the Coyote. That's basically the Coyotes.
Yeah.
That's basically the Coyotes in there, and it took them long enough, but it's great to finally see the ghost of the Coyotes, like in a playoff spot firmly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it seems like all right, you can write off like I don't think Utah's gonna win it yet. I
No.
think they have a good core and stuff, and they are a fun team. I'd love to see a game at that arena and ride the Zammoth. Uh, LA, I would write
It is
off.
so cool, by the way.
Yeah, that's a great idea for marketing and stuff. Anaheim, I would probably write off. I think you're looking at like I don't know, Vegas, Edmonton, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, any of those teams I'd believe it. I mean if the Buffalo Sabres were to catch lightning in a bottle and were to beat us, I mean I could see it. Uh
Tampa will catch lightning in a bottle, but they'll only reach the finals because they have Corey Perry.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, they're probably gonna lose in the final because that is crazy how many teams he's been on. What is
Yeah.
it now? What is the counter? Like 5 teams in the last like 6 years? Because
I
he was on
mean,
Dallas when they lost to Tampa in 2020.
can we
And
do
then
this off the rip?
then he was on Tampa when they lost. Or no. Then he went to Montreal.
Montreal.
Then he went to Tampa after losing them 2 years in a row and lost to Colorado. And then
I'm lost. I forget where he went after that.
23.
Edmonton.
Oh,
Was
so
it Edmonton?
no, he so 23. You're right though, but 23 he wasn't in that final. So it was
Right.
three
No, he
straight.
wasn't.
And
He
then
was off.
24, you're right. He went to Edmonton for 2 years where he then lost.
Then
So
he signed. Then he signs with LA. LA is still in the postseason, by the way, or they might be. I don't know.
yeah, they are. Yeah.
They are. The teams are locked. Sorry, I'm just like they're not guaranteed like where they're seated.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and he's still in the playoffs, and he's still like it's insane what Corey Perry, the worm, is doing. It's nuts.
It would be kind of sad if he never won a cup. I'm not gonna lie, but
I know.
yeah,
Outside of that Ducks one, ay.
yeah.
That one
Oh
Ducks
yeah.
one.
Oh, you're right. He won a cup. Okay.
That one Ducks one.
Never mind. I don't care.
It's just like Marshy. It's just like Marshy wins
Yeah.
one early, but then Marchand's gonna get. He already got a second one, but it's just like you win early. Can you do it at the late stage of your career?
I have a question that just reminded me because you said Marchand too. He had
Yeah.
a comment today. He basically said like, it sucks we're not in the playoffs, but like it really doesn't matter if you lose in the final or you miss the playoffs, you're a loser. There was a lot of like different reactions people had. I'm curious what either of you guys think of that.
That's bars low key. That's kind of like that reminds me of Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last. You know,
That's
um,
the name of this podcast, by the way. I'm gonna call it that.
that's
Um,
like I mean he's kind of right, but then again, I just look at it from a media like perspective. Every team sort of has like their expectations. Obviously, every team says our goal is to win the Stanley Cup. But I just think that for each team, they have an expectation, and it's like if they go above it, cool. You still lost. It's disappointing. Um, but yeah, for some competitive guys who just want to win all the time, like Marchand, like I think he's one of those guys that has that mindset where it's like, yeah, if I don't win it all, like it does not matter. It's not winning and it stinks.
yeah.
But he's down there in Florida where they're kind of just like they're a sleeping giant. They're reloading. I swear if they get McKenna or somebody, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
Oh, we are
okay.
not ready.
That reminded me of something else too. But JB, what do you think of that comment by him,
Who made
Marshall,
that comment?
Marshall,
Marchand.
at the media day, like
Mm,
at the end of the year?
Yeah, I didn't even hear you on that.
So
What?
he basically said like, it sucks we missed the playoffs, but if we probably weren't gonna win, like we missed the playoffs. So he's like, it's kind of the same thing as losing in the final. Like it really anyone who doesn't win the cup is a loser.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's fair. I think it's probably easier to saying that coming off of a cup win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is tough. I think for these teams that haven't been in the mix for a while, like just to have the chance or opportunity to battle it out. You said it earlier, like this is the best time of the year. So a lot of these new players coming into the league, or even some of the guys that have been in the league for a bit, that haven't had the opportunity, might look at it a little differently. But in the grand scheme of things, it is, that is the end goal. I mean, you're battling to win the cup. So
Yeah.
you ask McDavid that. I mean, it is
Yeah.
It's
probably pretty
obvious.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. I just like a lot of people again, I usually come with this stuff from like Twitter people reacting, but I just saw a lot of people being like he's coping or something. I just kind of thought it's like going into this year, it kind of makes a lot of sense where the Panthers are at. Like you go to two straight cups and with Barkov's injury, like they weren't, this just wasn't their year. And so it actually is not terrible to miss the playoffs, get a top 10 pick, you
Yeah,
know?
they have a great situation if I'm being honest. Like of
Yeah.
course all those guys want to win. Like then they've been doing it for a while, but a lot of hockey like that is really gonna wear on you. So I personally think it's a blessing in disguise for them.
I agree. Kind of opposite of Toronto unless they keep their pick this year.
Yeah, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, their AI engine thinks that they can replicate the Bruins, and I'm interested to see how that can happen.
I loved seeing that because it is just like anyone who has like a normal regular job like uses probably AI or like so it's just funny that like an NHL like the top fan base probably in terms of like size, I don't know, whatever, but the Leafs fans and media is crazy. It's just like the top team like that to be the GM is using ChatGPT to like make a
Should we
trade.
trade Fraser Minton a first and a fourth for Brandon Carlo? I'm sure they're using a better language model than free ChatGPT, but
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a method.
Yeah.
Should we top 10 protect the pick? No, the value doesn't add up. No, I'm just
Yeah.
playing.
No, no, no. What do you think is going to happen with that pick? Do you think it's going to end up being because I think they're what in fifth position, so it's like 48%.
So they're fifth, which means that the pick has a 58.2% chance of, I gotta check that, 58 something percent chance of falling out of top five, which would ultimately make it a Bruins pick. That there is an edge there, but it's not like we've seen how the draft lottery works.
Yeah.
It can go anywhere. The Bruins fell two spots out of a top five selection, and two teams moved up 10 spots in the Islanders and Utah. So you honestly never know. But the ideal thing would be for the Bruins to get the pick this year, in my personal opinion, if that's where you were going with that question, Mike, because they lack defensive depth, especially in the right-handed position, in the prospect pool. And this draft is top heavy in left and right shot defensemen. And I think that if you're going to capitalize on a draft that has so many of them, so much optionability, you really it's kind of important, I feel like, for the franchise as they're trying to retool and grow out and build towards another Stanley Cup. You need to find a guy like that can kind of be under McAvoy, that's younger, that can grow.
Totally. Yeah, it's funny. They're kind of in the spot that like the last time I used franchise mode in Shell, I went all in too early, and then the next year I simmed it and I was terrible, and I lost my first round pick because I traded it going all in.
Oh,
So I hope that we get it. I could definitely see it being top, like end up being five, and we miss it, but it would be unbelievable to see the shitstorm in Toronto and get the sixth overall pick.
that would be hilarious.
But yeah, all right. So we have, let's see. All right, my cup pick. I'm gonna be different than y'all. I'm going to go the Bruins. No, fuck, it really is difficult. Like I'm gonna say Minnesota. I'm gonna
I
go.
like that.
Yeah, I
But
think a lot of
why?
I think a lot of people are counting them out with Dallas. Low key, I think Dallas is I don't know how much they scare me with some of their injuries, and I haven't loved what I've seen from Ottinger either. I think he's a good goalie, but like I don't know. I think Minnesota could be just a very tough team to beat. And when a GM grabs his nuts the way that he did, goes out and gets Quinn Hughes, I wouldn't hate seeing that team. They've fallen short so many times, like being on the outside in the West. Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of a random one. I mean, I'm thinking the Bruins are going to win it, Marcus. So
Minnesota would be a very a delightful sight to see. Like that, that's a hockey community that's been a heavy hockey community that has not seen a lot of success at the pro level. So you would love to see that group, make a run and maybe convince Quinn Hughes to not mosey on to New Jersey with the rest of the Hughes.
yeah, you going to any games? Any playoff games? You got any plans?
We'll see. We'll see. I gotta, figure out schedule and everything with finals coming up. That's definitely a huge thing. Staying at school and making sure my grades are, all the way up. So we'll see. But if something opens, you never know. You never know.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, awesome. I mean, that's all I got. I don't. I think we've been over an hour and 15 or so. So
Or
yeah, awesome, dude. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate
It's
it. It was
always a
great talking to you.
it's always a blast being on with you boys, man. I miss talking. I missed talking. It's been too long since I'd been on the That's Gross podcast. But shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome conversations all the time.
Appreciate that, dude. We'll have to have you on again. Like, hopefully the Bruins
The
beat
Bruins
the
are going
Sabres.
on a run. So
Yeah.
I mean, Marcus, we're gonna be talking a lot here, dude. This is
I
this is
love
gonna
I
be
love
good.
it. I love the enthusiasm. I
Dude,
love it.
Zadorov is gonna kill Tage Thompson. I like Tage Thompson, but he's gonna kill him. Or Benson, any of those guys.
He's gonna
I'm
catch one of them in the neutral zone. It's
Oh,
gonna
I'm
happen.
so excited.
he's gonna put on a show, Marcus.
I'm so excited for playoff hockey, guys.
And James Hagens. Does anybody scare you on that Buffalo team physically? Logan Stanley or whatever? Is that the guy they got? I
I
think
mean, we'll just have to see.
he's
It's
gonna
different in
put,
the playoffs.
he's gonna put the puck through his legs and just walk him. Anybody touches him. Do you guys see Zadorov getting defended by Hagens the other night? He doesn't even need to protect him. Hagens is a goon. But anyway, dude, we'll have to get you on again and go Bruins. Hell yeah. Good luck with your finals.
Go Bruins. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Go get him, man. See ya.
Nothing. I just cracked a drink. I figured JB might get a little excited over there. It's Friday.
It is
It is
Friday. Puck Don't Lie is live. How am I coming in? Am I coming in all right audio wise?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. I don't really know how to intro this. I mean, we already kind of did an intro. You guys should have heard my intro with Marcus, but um yeah, so we talked to Marcus yesterday. It was a great combo, but we wanted to get Jake on here and talk about a couple more things. We're prepping for the playoffs here. So yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about the Bruins Sabres matchup and what to expect, our delusional predictions based in, complete Bruins fandom. Um, wearing a Bruins hat right now, I have Bruins underwear on. But yeah, Jake, how's it going? And what are you excited about right now?
It's going good. I mean, everything, dude. We got a full slate of playoff games this weekend. It's fucking amazing. Going to game 4 in Boston, so I'm fucking ecstatic. It's been 16 years since I've been to a Bruins playoff game, believe it or not. So,
Really?
yeah, the last one was I think game 3 against Philadelphia in Boston, that series that they blew.
Oh,
So,
you're
luckily,
bad.
I was
You're
at
bad
one of the
luck, dude.
ones-
Don't go, dude. Don't go. No, I'm kidding.
Well, they won the game I was at, so
Okay. JB, when was the last one you went to? It was probably game 7 Leafs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last one I went to, was game 6 versus Florida last year, 2 years ago. The last game of the season, which was tough. But I've been to a bunch. I got some Snapchat like memories of game 7 versus the Leafs that I went to, which was an electric game. I think I've talked about that on here before about how I was with a bunch of high school like hockey teammates and friends, and they thought the train was gonna leave early, so they were ready to leave in the second period of game 7. I was sitting there in a row by myself, just like, I don't care, I'll walk home. But yeah, excited. Playoffs are here tomorrow. They start, I think, what, like 2 p.m. or something, 2, 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I don't know. What do you want to talk about first? Like, I mean, do you have any thoughts on the Bruins that you want to jump into? Because, we already kind of discussed.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll give my prediction and like just a couple small thoughts. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'm sure I'm thinking the same thing you guys are. Um, First of all, Bruins in six, first and foremost. I'm pretty confident about that. I think it's going to be a fucking great series. I'm very excited. Um, the one thing that scares me a little bit is like I sent you that Twitter link today where that first line, Lindholm, like I just feel like he doesn't do that much for Pasta. Like, just I feel like you gotta change that line. I feel like it's not really doing much. It's like Pasta's generating offense, obviously, but like he's doing it on its own, his own.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked about that with Marcus a little bit. I like Elias Lindholm. I think he's a solid player and probably brings a decent amount, but I wouldn't have him up there. I think Marco Sturm's a good coach. I think he's probably looking at it like a veteran to start the playoffs if things don't go well. Like you're not hoping that like okay, they're gonna change it back because now they're down 0-2, but he's not afraid to make changes. He's played Pastrnak with Hustadinov and Minton for a good portion of the year. So we'll see. And, at the end of the day, the playoffs are like a different animal. And we haven't seen Elias. Like Marcus was big on his X factor that he gave for the series was Zadorov and Elias Lindholm, the two acquisitions they made. Lindholm did, he typically picks it up at the end of the year, and he had a game winner for Vancouver in his last playoff series that he was in too. So
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
We can come up big.
What's your X factor for the Bruins?
Ooh.
Or for the Bruins.
Um, I think there's so many on that could be X factors. You're gonna love this answer. Give me James Hagens, baby. I've liked what I've seen from him so far, and like it's more of like what you didn't expect he's doing right now. Like obviously the skills there, the kid is so skilled, and like you're seeing glimpses of it, but like, dude, the forecheck, like he's a fucking fly on shit on pucks. Like he scrums it up, like he's playing like playoff hockey, and like I think they said it's likely he's in Sunday.
Yeah,
Which I think
they won't give it to us. It's like just
I know they
he's
won't.
gonna play.
I think it's a great move, and it's a crazy one coming from the Bruins because that's not like their MO at all. Like even Sagan, like I mean, that team was probably it was way more complete.
He's also
But like,
young. Like that team was very young. People forget.
very young, yeah. McAvoy, I don't think he played game one against Ottawa that year.
He did.
He did.
Yeah, they were like really down bad with defensemen. Like Carl, that was the year Carlo. I think it was game 82. Ovechkin boarded the fuck out of him, and he got conkied. And I think they had like John Michael Lyles, a couple other guys like someone else got injured, so they kind of needed him, and they just
Okay.
threw him. I remember he started first shift with Chara out there, and it was like
Okay.
that barn was electric, but that was a different situation. Like they have other guys they could put in. I agree with you, like Hagen, but it's almost like they took their time with him, and it's like, how could you watch him and be like, he's not a better option than the guys that are sitting.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's been good. I think he's gonna keep getting better. I mean, obviously the playoffs is it's a different beast, but like as he keeps getting comfortable, the skill is gonna progress. It's gonna continue and continue, and then you're gonna see him doing something sick soon. You're
Yeah.
gonna be like, holy fucking shit. It's James Hagens.
Yeah, I like that as an X factor. Like, I don't know how much he's gonna, light it up, obviously, playing 2 games, but he's the guy on this team that kind of has what the Sabres have. Like their MO is speed and skill, and to have someone who can kind of combat that and like has the legs, I could see him being a difference maker, even if it's just like one game that he like Sagan in 11, like when he jumped in like two different games that he played and really was an X factor and one game can be a series. So
Yeah.
to recap, JB said Swayman, which obviously I agree with. I think he could be. I had said the fourth line to kind of be different. At times they've been huge, and Marcus had those two as their X factors. But yeah, what else on the Bruins? Anything else before we move
I'll
on?
give another X factor, Fraser Mitten. I think he's gonna play a big role in this series. I think he's gonna be fucking an X factor. I think it's more realistic than Hagens, but I just wanted to throw that out there because off the board a little bit.
Yeah,
But I don't know. It's gonna be a physical series for sure. Two very big teams. I don't know if you guys saw like on Twitter, everybody's kind of erupting that Marco Sturm called said the Bruins are bigger, faster, stronger, and I think tougher, he said. And everybody's like, oh, because I guess it's like the average weight is the only thing that's bigger, and it's like two
and the
pounds.
height, the height of the.
Everybody's
I don't.
freaking
Yeah,
out.
you definitely didn't say faster because the Bruins are like one of the slower teams and they're one of the fastest. But yeah, I mean, look, people make anything. That's typically me. I come in with like what people are mad about on Twitter, and it's like it really is pointless. I do hear you. I did see that. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. That building is gonna be like cool to see playoff atmosphere, like similar to Ottawa. That series, I think that building is gonna be rocking, and people are gonna be like falling out of the balcony. So that'll be fun to see. If there's nothing else in the Bruins, I'm curious
I
to.
just want to know your guys' predictions because obviously I missed them. I assume you gave them, but I just want to hear them.
I have the Bruins in 7. I think they're gonna have like a younger leadership core. I think they're gonna have potentially a little bit of trouble like closing out a series in 6. It could happen, and obviously their strength at home is huge, but I see it being 7, kind of getting the job done.
Yeah, I said the Bees in 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely worried about them on the road a little bit. They've been one of the best home teams in the league this year. I think they can most definitely win all 3 games at home. My thing is you just got to steal one at Buffalo. I
Yeah.
come out steal game 1. I love that for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say I feel like they've had some big games on the road. Like I think I've heard some interviews with them talking about how they've focused on it because like towards the end of the year it is cool to see them talk about like working on their deficiencies for the playoffs. And talking about even like Hagens, like all year they were talking to him. Sweeney said in his press conference about, these are the things you got to work on to get here. Where it's like he's in the middle of a season, but he's actually focused on things he's got to work on to get to the NHL and to play at the end of the year. I think it's been similar for the Bruins. Like they're working on parts of their game. They're trying to improve their weaknesses. Being the road has definitely been a weakness for them. But you think about that comeback in Columbus, they beat Buffalo on the road um, recently too. So yeah, I hear you. Obviously, we have hope here that they can figure it out, and they're gonna have to. They're gonna play. They're gonna beat a team like Buffalo. You're gonna have to win a game, 2 games on the road. So, uh, yeah, I mean, if there's nothing else on them, I mean, we did talk a lot about them. I'm sure there's probably some other things we could discuss, but I'm curious, and I'll get JB involved in it too. Like, what's a series that we're not probably gonna watch every single game of every other series, but what's another series that you'll be tuning into the most, do you think?
Is that to me?
Yeah, you can lead it off.
Yeah, I think other than this Bees one, like I think the most insane one is going to be the Stars and Wild. You look at what Minnesota did. I mean, this season, the moves that they made, I just think they've already been kind of like on the brink of going on a run. That's why it's just hard with this layout in the brackets and everything. But I mean, I think that's going the distance. That's a 12 round bout, heavyweights. It's going to be a good one.
Gonna come down to a decision. Yeah, I agree. I actually meant to talk to Marcus about it too, but the format is definitely something like I don't know if they're gonna change it, but we would have had Boston Montreal in round 1 if it was 1 through 8. But I hear you. And how about while we're on the topic, JB, I think I know your answer based on who you said your cup pick was, but who do you have in that one and maybe why?
Yeah, I'm going Stars in 7. Like I said, I think it goes the distance. I just think like in that aspect, talking about the Bruins and like X factors and stuff, I think like I'm almost relying on a guy like Mikko Rantanen to like even if he's like three quarters of what he was in the last playoff run, like he's an animal, and I think that that team plays so fast. The experience that they also have like making these runs, like I don't know, I think when you really get down to the root of it, the question between like I don't know, experience versus like the hype of like getting in and the ability or the option, I guess, to go on a run. I just think I'm taking experience over that.
Yeah. And you just made me think of it, but like that's, I mean, first of all, that's like an or a Western Conference final that, like those two teams are so good. They're pretty evenly matched. Like, I would feel like neither team really has like that 1C, and they both have like an elite number one defenseman. You got Quinn Hughes, Miro Heiskanen, and then you have your best forward is probably your winger with Rantanen and Kaprizov. So, yeah, Jake, who do you have in that one?
This is one that, like I told you guys earlier, I was making the bracket and I stared at it for like 3 minutes. I was like, don't know which way to go.
It's tough.
My heart wants Minnesota. I like both teams, like, you know, two
Yeah.
likable teams. But my brain is telling me Dallas, like, they're just so stacked. And the fact that they don't even have Sagan and they still just look so good. Like they have 240 goal scorers this year. Fucking they got a squad. So I'm saying Dallas. I think it definitely goes 7 games. I'd be shocked if it didn't.
Did they add anybody in the deadline, Dallas?
Um,
Oh, they got that defenseman. Who was that? The tall Myers. They got Tyler
oh, they
Myers,
did get Tyler Myers. Yeah.
who's like kind of one of those guys that gets shit on like Twitter because analytically he's probably bad. He's gonna be a hard guy to play in the corners. Maybe maybe a little bit of a not the most effective defenseman, but yeah, I know Quinn Hughes is sick. He's gonna play, but he caught some illness. I think Hintz was a little injured. I don't know. I mean, all that stuff is so hard to read into, right? With people not kind of being honest about what's going on. But
Yeah.
what's your maybe try to be different, but like what's your series that outside of that one that you'd be the most in tune with?
Montreal and Tampa. I'm excited for that one. That was another one I looked at and I was like, I mean, I feel like everybody's going Tampa, but I think Montreal is a hell of a fucking team.
Yeah, I agree with you. Oh, by the way, I picked Minnesota in the other one. I kind of went with the heart. Just wanted to say that. I could see it either way. But I agree with you with Tampa, Montreal, and I similarly picked Montreal just because I kind of want to see the Bruins in the Habs. But it's tough with the goaltending of Vasilevsky. If he's on, that can make a series. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of did exactly what I was gonna do. I was gonna say, just because the Bruins Canadians playoff second round matchup is destined to happen. I think it's so like if Montreal can get good goaltending, which I mean they have two rookie goalies, so it's a little dicey. I think they could win this series, if not Tampa. But I'm gonna go Montreal just for the plot.
Yeah. JB, what about you?
Yeah, this was my like really my only upset. I had the Habs
Wow,
in
we all
seven.
had the Habs.
I mean, maybe I mean just bias like you were just saying about the Bruins hopefully getting out of the first round and then that matchup, but
Yeah.
I think more so like the season that Caulfield has had, like you kind of brought it up, like these teams you need to have that guy. I also think they're a pretty heavy team. They have some big guys. And like, I mean, talk about cities that love the NHL playoffs that need to be in it for the league to be in a better place. I just think the Habs have that recipe that I feel like they could catch Tampa not lacking. I mean, I think Tampa knows, obviously, they've done this run so many times that they know what to expect. But I just think when you drag it out to 7 games and you're going up against this younger team, I mean, these guys are mid 20s. I would pick them for my upset.
Dobson is missing the whole first round though. That is
Oh.
something I found out today. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I think I kind of yelled into that, but like you mentioned Caulfield and Hudson too. It's like those guys, as much as we want to talk about how skilled they are in the next wave, whatever. Uh, yeah, the playoffs are where you show it. I think Hudson or Caulfield's had a good like run in the playoffs, but we'll see how Hudson does against like a heavy forecheck and if he can keep that up, what his play is. But I agree with you guys, and I also think like Tampa has Kucherov and Hagel. Outside of those two on
And
offense,
so
yeah, but I don't know. I'm not super enamored with that team just because like I feel like they lost the punch down the middle a little bit. Like I haven't really seen or heard much of Point or Sorelli all year. Now maybe it's like the veteran
I think
Panthers where it's like
Point was hurt for a while. He missed the Olympics.
yeah, and maybe it's kind of like the Florida Panthers a little bit where it's like you just get in and then that's when those guys like turn it on. But yeah, I whatever. I agree with you guys. I definitely I think the skill up front that Montreal has with Caulfield, Demidov, you got Suzuki, Slavkovsky, like he's a big frame. He's been really good. I just think they have that like young core. They could really go on a deep run, like, all things aside, putting bias aside. Uh yeah, so how about we quickly talk about some other so the other one in the East, one of the other ones is Carolina and Ottawa. What do we have? What do we have there?
Um, I have Ottawa.
I have
I
the
think
Canes.
Yeah, you said that was your only upset. So how about JB? Why the Canes?
I mean, I just think the way that they play, it just scares me as an individual, dude. Like, talk about Komodos in a kitchen. Like, they create so much chaos and they play such a quick game. I feel like their neutral zone's super tight. So I don't know. I think the Sens, like, they've been in the media so much that market is already hard enough. Allmark, there's been so many rumors about that whole situation. So I just think going into it, I think Carolina's in a better spot, and I think if they can get to their game early and frustrate Ottawa, I just don't know if that locker room in Ottawa has enough to dig deep and get out of that series.
Yeah, Jake. What about your pitch for Ottawa?
yeah, so obviously it all comes down to goaltending with Ottawa. I think if they can get good goaltending, I think they're one of the best teams in the league, honestly. Like they play a hard-nosed fucking game, and I think Brady Kachuk, he's built for this shit, just like his brother is. And I think he's gonna make some noise this year. Last year was their first year in, and I don't know, they did pretty good. They won 2 games with their backs up against the wall against that Leafs team. I think that thought they looked pretty good every game. Couple bad bounces, couple overtime losses. I don't know. I like Ottawa here. I think it's gonna be a great series. And I was also Carolina fucking wins like so many series. They always make it to the second round, second or third round, and then they just fizzle out. I don't know. I feel like this year's the year they choke and just can't get out of the first round.
Yeah, it's fair. I do want to say, do you guys see the Kachuk like weird injury that happened to him?
Yeah,
He said he lost vision. It was like a
yeah,
really weird play at JB. I don't know if you saw that, but I don't even know. Like nothing really happened. It was like someone changed in front of him, and he just all of a sudden like looked like frozen, and then had to like go to the bench. And apparently, he lost vision in his, in his eyes. Apparently,
yeah. It kind of looked a little scary, honestly.
I mean, definitely, yeah. I mean, you don't know what that is.
Reports say he's good now, so
Yeah, I mean that kid's a fucking mutant. He'll play blind out there,
oh
honestly.
yeah, oh yeah.
But I agree. Like seems like I feel like both of you guys would probably agree, and you're on the same level with like it really does probably come down to goaltending in this series. Like I think Ottawa, what they've been able to do to get here is pretty impressive with the goaltending they've had. Like a lot of the storyline is if they had just like average goaltending and not a goalie who like was cheating on his girlfriend and then got caught and then snitched on all his teammates allegedly, then they would have been more of a wagon this year. But like they're you guys know like how hard is it to play in front of a shit goalie? Like all my teammates growing up, probably could relate to that. So I mean, I think it comes down to that. I personally think that Olmark might be able to figure it out. I have Ottawa, but I mean, it's like you said, Carolina is a wagon. They probably are going to go to the third round again and lose to the Bruins. So,
See, it reminds me of that Florida team. Like, okay, like not like that severely, like not that stacked of a roster, and like I don't think they're gonna make the Stanley Cup by any means.
they don't have Bobrovsky
Yeah,
on the bench.
but as a 1 seed, it's not an 8 seed you want to be playing first round.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that.
You know what I mean? It's upset central right there, I feel like.
Yeah, because Carolina is like the number one in the East. So for them to get Ottawa um, over the Bruins, I bet they're probably a little bit like they probably would have rathered Boston. Um, yeah, so that'll be interesting. I did just notice this, guys, because I just got a little bit of like deja vu talking about series right now. We're about a year into this podcast. So I just looked. The first episode was released on April 18th of 2005. It's April 17th. This will probably go up. I'll probably do it after I skate tonight, so it'll probably go up around midnight. So it'll be a year. So a little bit of nostalgia, a little nostalgia for you. I think we're doing a lot better than we were. We're in a good place. So it's cool to see a little bit of stick taps for the boys here. How about Pittsburgh, Philly? John, Bruce, Salikas.
I would say, I think Pens in 6. I think they get out of it unscathed. I think Crosby continues to do Crosby things. They're another kind of fun team, a little bit of a running gun. I love their decor. I mean, obviously getting a little bit older now, but I don't know. I just think, yeah, great. Flyers got in. I think it'll be a great series for both teams or whatever. But I think, I don't know. I just don't see a world that the Flyers beat the Pens this year.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against Crosby. I agree it will be a fun one just with the rivalries they have, like that clip of Crosby years ago being like kind of on the verge of tears, just being like, I fucking hate them. I don't like them. I don't like any of the guys on their team. Shout out to Crosby. I love Crosby. I'm not shitting on Sidney Crosby, but he definitely took a lot of beatings in his career, and a lot of it was from Philadelphia. Wattsburg, what do you got?
See, when we first found out this was definitely going to be a series, I was like, okay, Pittsburgh, no doubt. And I think I still do think Pittsburgh, but the way that Philly's been playing, the way that Porter Martone has been injected into that lineup and is just absolutely excelling, I could see it going the other way. But I'm going to say Pittsburgh in 7 just solely because of Sid the Kid. The not so kid anymore, but
Yeah.
it just seems like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I hear that, and I have the same as Pittsburgh, and so it would be Pittsburgh, Crosby and Eric Carlson, and then for my bracket, I have him against the Senators, his old team. That would be pretty fun, and so we don't have to go in as deep, but I guess it shortens it up here. But like with your teams that you picked, who would you have getting out of the second round? So I think for all of us, it's Boston, Montreal. I think we know what we're all gonna say. Uh, but like Jake, you have what, the Sens in Pittsburgh. Who do you think would get out of that one?
Sense.
Okay. And JB, you have Carolina, Pittsburgh. Do you have Carolina going back
Yeah, Carolina.
against the Bruins?
I mean, it's a great spot to be, is it not?
It
Look,
is.
boys, get ready to buy some Stanley Cup tickets.
Yeah, right. Okay, all right. Let's go over to. I mean, and then the Bruins are in the final. I think we all know that's where we're
The
going.
Bruins win the cup. You know?
I
mean, come on,
dude,
boys.
all right. Once we get to the end of the West, it's funny what my final is, but um, let's go over to Colorado, LA. I think we're all probably on the same page with this one, right?
Yeah, I think it's a sweeper in 5.
Yeah, I got Avs in 5 here. They're a wagon. And then we did talk about Dallas, Minnesota. And then you have Vegas and Utah. JB, what do you got in that one?
I have I have the Knights in 6. I think. I mean, I think the Mammoth are fun to watch. I think they're the same thing, right? Like what did Marcus say? Like the ghost of Arizona, kind of like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I think obviously very fast. I mean, I think they have a pretty solid team, but I don't know. I look at the Knights kind of like just what you really need to have in a team for a deep run. Like we saw firsthand watching Jack Eichel in the Olympics. Like he's a horse.
yeah.
And I just think having someone that impactful in the middle, especially obviously made the move. They got Marner as well. And I think, a storyline is like playing under Torts.
Mm.
Like he's going to have the boys ready to run through a wall game 1. So I have Knights in 6.
Wattsburg.
I think this is gonna be a sneaky good series. I also have Knights in 6. Since Torts came on the scene, they've been the old Vegas again. It's like so right in time for playoffs. I think, like JB said, Eichel is just he's a horse, and he's a great player in the playoffs and when it matters most. So love Vegas here.
Yeah. Yeah, for Vegas to make a deep run, like the loss of Petrangelo is huge, but I agree. Like I don't think Utah has it yet, and I think Tortorella is gonna be like, "You guys are really gonna lose to the Ghosts of Arizona, the team that has a fucking, gimmick Zamboni," which I like. But yeah, I agree. So then the last one is, I think this will be a sneaky fun one too, is Edmonton Anaheim. So JB, what do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm going Oilers in 6. I like the 6 number. Just because I don't know, I think the whole like consensus on this playoffs for the most part is like Jake said it multiple times here. Like it is kind of just puts your brain in a Wetzel pretzel because it's like this whole season's been so close. I feel like the teams like with the younger players starting to become more like prominent in the league and playing bigger roles than what we've seen and what we talked about earlier, like in past years. I just think like in this series, the Ducks are another one of those teams. Like they're young. I think if they can catch a little bit of wind in the early games in all these series are like confident builders. So I just think that if, for example, the Ducks start off pretty hot and can get some confidence, like I think they could go on like a little bit, not of a run, like in the grand scheme of things, but just within its own series. I think they could push the envelope a little bit. But I mean, we're going against McDavid. Come on,
Yeah.
McDavid's gonna. Plus, we said it yesterday. Like the Panthers not being in the mix, you know that McDavid's got to have just licking his chops.
Definitely. I like that point about Anaheim because I agree with you. I think like, just what the Oilers have been through, like if they could kind of punch him in the mouth early, Draisaitl is looking like he's going to play game 1, which I think a lot of people I kind of assumed he'd be back. But but yeah, I have Edmonton as well. Jake, what do you got?
I got Edmonton sweeping this. I
Really?
think yeah, I know a little bit of hot take. I think McDavid is just going to absolutely go nuclear this playoffs as he always does. He's going to fucking put a strangle on this series. Draisaitl coming back is just going to fucking they're just going to be dominant, I think. And the Ducks have been pretty piss poor recently. So,
Okay.
I think they're like 1-9 in their last 10.
Ooh.
So, they have not been good.
Yeah.
Uh
Hmm.
yeah, I think this is McDavid's year to do it and at least for now cuz next year when the Panthers come back, it's going to be a lot harder. So I think he's a man on a mission.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely think a sweep is a little aggressive because I think Anaheim's got a lot of skill up front now defensively and young goaltending. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't pick them. But they got some skill guys and it's actually interesting. Like this is the first year I feel like, again, it's been getting more of a young league and it is a young man's league now, you're seeing. But the playoffs are always different. I wonder if like this year we see a lot more youth in the playoffs starting to take over too. Like I don't know. I don't know. Well, we will see. A lot of it's going to probably be dependent on officiating and how the games end up playing. But I have Edmonton as well. I have them in 6. Um, all right. So then the second round, based on what you guys have, like mine is Colorado, Minnesota. And I actually, again, I'm kind of going with my heart here. I really like Quinn Hughes, and it's kind of a Quinn Hughes Makar battle. Obviously, the Avs are a wagon, but I got Minnesota. So I guess JB, you would have Dallas in Colorado. Who do you have in that?
I'm going Colorado.
Yeah, it's a hard team to bet against, man. I mean, just the way they were rolling.
Yeah, I mean, just them on paper and like knowing those type of players, and then also just their resume and what they've done.
Yeah.
And I think any logical person would have a hard time going against it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm very illogical, but I will say McKinnon. I saw him interviewed recently. It's really cool to see his progression as like a human. Just talking about like how he used to be so hard on himself and how it didn't help him, and how he's matured in terms of like accepting losses and maybe not having chickpea pasta every night and kind of splurging on his diet. Maybe I don't know if he's going that far, but yeah, he's an animal, and yeah, it is hard to pick against him. Jake, you would have I forget what your first round pick was.
Dallas, Colorado. I'd go Colorado. I don't think they'd lose 2 years in a row. So I don't know. They're a fucking wagon. Not really much else to say, but will be a 6 series again to see.
Okay, so you have them in the conference final, and then for both of you, it would be Vegas, Edmonton. JB, who do you got in that one? Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake, same thing.
Can't pick against McDavid, brother.
Yeah, so you have McDavid versus McKinnon, both of you guys. JB, who do you got in that one? That would be a hell of an Eastern Conference final, or I keep saying that. That'd be a hell of a final Western Conference final there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole brain versus the heart thing. Like, I would love to see McDavid do it, but that's where I think McDavid's road ends. Just don't know if they can get through that Colorado team.
Yeah. Jake.
I'll go the other way. I'm going to stay with McDavid. I mean, it's like JB said, I might be going against my brain a little bit here, but
You're used to
that. Nothing McDavid does makes any sense anyway. He always finds a way to fucking just shock the world and just be McJesus. So yeah, I like them to get to the finals there.
Yeah. JB, were you going to say something there at the end?
No,
Oh, okay.
I didn't really have anything.
I thought I cut you off at the end there. So you guys both, so you got Avs Bruins and Oilers Bruins. Is that what it looks like for you guys in the final?
Yep.
What a credentialed podcast we have. I have Oilers Bruins, and I have the Oilers losing 3 straight finals. So
Same. Do I think it's gonna happen? No, but I can't pick the Bruins to lose.
I know. Although it's interesting because it's like, have we ever made a bracket where the Bruins lose, and have they ever won when you made a bracket? It's like maybe we should just say Buffalo beats them. It's an underdog.
I don't
Buffalo
know.
absolutely destroys them first round. The Bruins are getting swept.
Swept, yeah. All right, guys. Well, cool. I mean, I got to run here in like 10.
I'll just rattle off some quick award predictions, super quick.
Yeah. Let's do it. So, I mean,
What do you guys got?
Yeah, that one's really tough for me, man. I mean, I guess let's just go like who we think should win, not who we think is going to win, because the way they do it is always so weird.
That's what I was gonna say anyway.
Yeah. Jake, why don't you hit it first? Because
you know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and I'm leaning towards that too.
What I'm gonna say.
He's been fucking absurd.
Macklin fucking Celebrini, dude. That's the most valuable player to his team, no doubt. And I hate the fact that they didn't make playoffs because it would have increased my argument by 10.
Yeah.
But he's the MVP. Give it to him. And I'm not saying that just because I have a bet on it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's broke the record for franchise history in points in San Jose Sharks in his second season. It's pretty insane.
You see Jumbo's video for him?
No, did he have his cock and balls out?
No, but his shirt was off.
No, that was Jake's video.
That was my
It is
video.
crazy, Jake, that you literally have a fat head of a 19-year-old on your bedroom wall.
Dude, I wish. Can you buy me one for my birthday?
Yeah.
Thanks.
When's your birthday?
October, but we
Oh,
can
yeah.
set it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll be just in time for next season.
Yeah. JB, who do you think is the most valuable to his team this year?
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you guys. Like what he's done as in his sophomore season,
Give
breaking
Gross a vote.
records. Like I do just think it's dumb the way that they do it, kind of getting dragged down by the team. But I think he's more than deserving, and it's just crazy to think like what he's gonna end up being. Like
Yeah,
this is the second season. Like
yeah, yeah. He's almost in like unprecedented. I mean, he really is in like a Crosby territory, honestly, because he has.
They play very similar too.
And Crosby, I think, had 120 in his sophomore.
120, yeah.
So it's like they're pretty close. Like maybe he doesn't end up being what Sidney Crosby was, but he's like pretty damn close, and he does it the right way. He's a great kid. I sent you guys that thing a while ago of like them talking about his dad or something was like we'd kick the ball with all our kids and after a while they would just like tire out and they'd kind of like be done, but like Macklin would be like grabbing at their knees and pulling their like shorts down, like growling. Like he's just a dog on meat. He really is. He's a Komodo dragon. We should make like at one point an all time or maybe just like a current Komodo dragon team of just absolute Komodos. But I think, yeah, Pasternak, I think even has kind of a case like with what he's done this year as a playmaker. Like Marcus kind of talked a little bit about it. I actually made a tweet on this Gross account, which I've been just kind of putting my thoughts. Like I'm not trying to grow that account, but it got a decent amount of traction, like 110 likes or something like that. But it was that Jay Fresh account who tweeted, it's underrated. Like people talk about Crosby and McDavid, like playmakers who just decide to become elite goal scorers. But we don't give David Pastrnak enough credit for becoming one of the best playmakers in the league. And I had responded, he came into the league as a skilled playmaker, developed his shot, specifically one-timer to play with Bergeron and Marchand, then realized he'd have to go back to create offense without other creators on his line or his team. Um, because I think a lot of people just don't realize that. Like he really is a playmaker at heart, and he developed into like an elite goal scorer. And then this year, nobody can set that guy up, so he decided he's going to do it himself and make Morgan Geeky a multi-millionaire. And all these guys, he makes them look so good. So I think he's a pretty good case. I don't think he'll win it. Other than that, I mean, you could always say McDavid. Talking about youth, I think you could even argue like Schaefer. Like, I mean, I don't think he'll get it either, but I think his impact on the island has been pretty absurd.
It's there, yeah.
And he's breaking records as well. So much youth. Yeah, I don't really know who else is in that conversation. I had ChatGPT and it just gives me like Eichel, Kucherov, McDavid, Pasta. Yeah. So I think that's fair. So moving on, what's another one? Norris. Jake, who you got for Norris?
Before we get to Norris, you just talked about Schaefer. We could all agree that Schaefer's winning the Calder, correct?
Yeah, it's like what Demidov
100%.
is number two, probably in that
Yeah,
conversation.
it's not even close to me.
Yeah, no. I
But
think if he's in the
okay.
comp for MVP, then he's definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Norris, yeah. What do you guys think? I say Werenski.
JB, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean he's pretty much ran away with it. I think he finished. It was like 80 points, 81 points or something. I mean, it just
Yeah.
sucks the way they kind of fell off there. I mean, it was good for us, but we
My
needed
thing with the
that
Norris
backup.
too is it's kind of slipped into this offensive defenseman award, which it traditionally never was.
Yeah. That's been the last
Like,
few years. It's been like a lot of people debating that. Like, what are we doing? Is it who had the most points or is it the best defenseman?
yeah, I don't know if you guys saw on Sportsnet Kevin Bieksa and
Pronger. I did see that.
no, it wasn't Pronger, it was fuck. Elliot Friedman got into it a little bit about that.
Well,
And then
Pronger was on that too, though. You're right.
yeah,
You're
he
right.
was
You're right.
on
I
it,
remember
but
that.
I
Yeah.
saw the clip of just Bieksa and
Yeah.
but a name he threw out and he was like, unfortunately, he'll probably never win, but he should be in the conversation every year is McAvoy.
Oh, yeah. 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 I feel like he's just kind of like a little bit on the outside of that conversation.
But like, I think this
Always.
year, if he played a full season, he was just about a point per game player this year, which this is what we've been looking for from him since he was a rookie, or maybe not since he was a rookie, but this is what we expected him from him since he was a rookie.
Yeah. I agree, and I just realized I kind of have to speed this up. But people also talked about Bouchard. That's the kind of a longer conversation. I don't really even want to get into, but he has had a crazy good year. I don't think I would give that guy the Norris. Siders had a really good year. Obviously, you're talking Quinn Hughes, Makar, but I agree. I think Werenski. I think you guys probably also saw the coach of that team. That's kind of a gong show. And then they signed him. The coach just ripped everyone, said they don't hate to lose.
Yeah,
They
I
don't
kind of love
care.
that. I'm not gonna lie.
And then I thought it was like, this guy's done. And then they extended him like the next day. They must have loved it. So that sucks for the players because he literally said, these guys are lucky there's no practice tomorrow.
I think all the players actually love him though.
Yeah, yeah, but he's gonna bag the fuck out of them game practice number one.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, move on quick. Jack Adams, you got Lindy Ruff with Buffalo, Bednar with Colorado, Cooper, Tampa, Bonus. These names are out of date, but um,
I mean, dude, come on.
Marco
Go with the
Sturm.
fucking German guy. I mean, all
Yeah,
bias aside. No, I'm kidding.
yeah,
So
put the
biased.
bias aside.
We've been so biased this podcast, but
We are
yeah.
always so
I
biased.
mean,
But we're smart. We
especially
know
me, you guys fucking let me hear all the time. I was so critical of this team, didn't think they were sniffing playoffs. He changed the culture around. So enough said. I don't really need to go on a rant about it. We talk about it every fucking week.
Yeah, JB, any other name that pops your head or?
No, I mean, I just don't even think, like, I don't know. I guess the rest of what we've talked about is definitely, like, biased, and I guess you could argue this as well. But, I mean, there was not many people saying that this Bruins team was going to be good. And also, I think he's a first-year NHL coach.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like this guy has a crazy resume of NHL teams that he's led and he's had success with. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you think about how difficult it is for a normal coach to wrangle players and add in youth. I mean, Marco Sturm did something that the Bruins haven't done in so many years, and that's inject youth into the lineup and find the right buttons to push, get the most out of them, and not be too critical of minor mistakes. Like I listened to Sweeney's presser, and he talked a little bit about Marco Sturm and just kind of different parts of the season, and like started off all right. They went into that slump, and like just a first year coach to be able to get them out of it and not let them slide too much. That now in April we're like, well, damn, that's where it went off the rails. I mean,
Yeah. No, thanks for saying that. I really like that point. You're right. Like the bias, yeah, bias aside for sure. He really should be in the conversation. He arguably could win it. I think there's a lot of guys that could win it. But I totally agree with you, man. And the accountability that he's forced these guys, like he's understood like when to push the buttons to your point and when to like fucking scream at them. And then they've responded, which is really like what makes or break the coach, right? You can yell at guys, but if they go out and play like Columbus, well, you're not winning coach of the year, you're not making the playoffs. But I agree. I almost want to Costanza and just fucking go out on that high right there. I will say a couple other names. Muse, shout out to Muse Hockey in Pittsburgh. You also got what's the name? Fucking mustache in Anaheim.
Oh, Quinville.
Gwenville, and then maybe Tra what's his name in fucking Montreal? Jeez, I can't think.
St. Louis.
I love him as a coach. He's a really like new age coach, the way he works with players too. But yeah, Marco Sturm's my
Caulfield,
pick.
especially, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's like he's like a version of him. He probably
Yeah.
like sees it himself. Let's kick it off here. Vesna. I think probably Sorokin, Vasilevsky, and Swayman are probably the three.
Give me Sway.
Yeah, give me Sway. JB, sway the way.
yeah, I mean, he's my fucking X Factor, man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Sorokin probably will win it, but Swayman's had a great year. All right. Well, I gotta run, guys. I gotta go toe drag some 53-year-olds. Good chopping it up with you guys.
How many guys are you going to fight with tonight, you think?
Well, that was a men's league game, so that was a little different.
I feel like it's been ramping up, though, dude. Like, Mike's had some battles in life, and these other guys are going to start to pay for it.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. We'll see. I don't know
Hey,
if the bog
Wattsburg, how are you?
I don't know if the bog has live barn, but
Sorry, Jake. That was definitely, you just caught a stray.
yeah, that was a
take that back.
ricochet
That
for
was,
sure.
I do apologize.
Okay, I wasn't even really paying attention, to be honest.
Yeah, normally not. It's all good.
Right over his head, flew over the cuckoo's nest. Yeah, that I never talked about that on the podcast. That was actually pretty funny story, but maybe on the next one. But yeah, guys. All right, good shit as always. Enjoy your night and go Bruins. Let's
Go
fucking
Bees,
go.
baby. Bring on
Go
Buffalo.
Bees.
We ain't scared.
These playoffs are gonna be awesome. Everyone have a good week, good time. We'll see you next time. See
Peace.
you, therapist.
Peace.
A bitch for peace. I train a bitch for a queen. I'm on cardio, running on beat. In the morning, I'm running on beach. And the money is running to me. And they come when I'm counting sheep. And I'm somewhere I'm living remote. And the beach is private me. Got a cat that he came with a boat. One more time, let me hear you. How the fuck I'm bored? I've been cooking on the yacht. How the fuck I tall? It's a movie every style. I could barely walk. I got Uzi on the dot. I stay 10 toes. I got Gucci on my socks. Someone make it stop.